You open your paycheck on a Friday afternoon. It's not impressive, not the kind of number financial influencers brag about. No luxury car outside, no six-figure portfolio, no secret side business quietly making money while you sleep. Just an ordinary paycheck. And almost instantly, the anxiety creeps in: rent, food, bills, the future. You do the math in your head and it never seems to work. Now, a man named Kenji. He earns roughly the same amount. Ordinary job, ordinary salary, ordinary life, yet somehow he sleeps peacefully. He isn't obsessively checking his bank balance or panicking at every unexpected bill. What does he know that most people don't? Most people assume wealth starts with earning more. The Japanese discovered something different decades ago. Wealth begins with the way you think about money, long before your income changes. My name is Tahira, and today we're exploring a money philosophy that's quietly survived in Japan for over a century and why it still works for ordinary incomes today. Let's start with the leaking bucket. Imagine lowering a bucket into a well every day and pulling it back up. The water is your income. The bucket is your life. Now imagine that bucket has small holes, almost invisible. A forgotten subscription here, a delivery fee there, a discount item bought just because it was on sale. Individually, each hole looks harmless, maybe $8 here, $12 there. But add up enough of these small leaks, even something as modest as $40 a month, and you're looking at $480 a year quietly disappearing before you ever consciously decided to spend it. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most people believe they have an income problem. Many actually have a leaking bucket problem. After World War II, Japanese households developed an extremely careful relationship with spending, not because they enjoyed deprivation, but because every yen genuinely mattered. That mindset still shapes Japanese financial habits today, and it starts with one simple shift. Before asking how to earn more, ask where the water is actually going. A person earning $2,000 and keeping $500 is often financially healthier than someone earning $5,000 and keeping nothing. The goal isn't guilt, it's awareness, because you can't fix a leak you refuse to see. This brings us to Kakeibo, which translates roughly to household financial ledger. In 1904, a Japanese journalist named Hani Motoko introduced this method, and it's quietly survived for over a century. No flashy spreadsheets, no complicated formulas, just a notebook and 4 questions asked every month. How much money do you have? How much would you like to save? How much are you actually spending? And how can you improve? Notice what's missing. The system doesn't start with spending, it starts with reflection. Modern consumers buy first and think later. Kakeibo flips that order entirely. In practice, spending typically gets sorted into 4 simple categories: survival needs like rent and groceries, optional wants like eating out, culture spending like books or a concert, and extra or unexpected costs like a repair. Writing an expense into one of these categories forces a tiny pause before the purchase even happens, and that pause is where the actual change occurs. You don't need a paper notebook either. A simple notes app or basic spreadsheet with these same 4 questions works exactly the same way today. Because spending is rarely about the item itself, it's often about the feeling behind it. You buy because you're stressed, bored, lonely, or because everyone else seems to have it. The purchase becomes an attempt to change a feeling, not meet a need. Most financial advice focuses on the money. Kakeibo focuses on the behavior underneath it, and that's exactly where real financial change actually begins. Next, think about a bamboo forest. Each stalk looks thin and fragile, yet it survives powerful storms because long before it grows tall, it grows an enormous root system underground. This is how the Japanese approach saving. Most people treat saving as leftovers. Spend first, save whatever remains, which usually means saving nothing. The Japanese system reverses this: save first, spend second. Before touching your paycheck, move a small amount into savings. Not a painful amount, just enough to build the habit. Everything left over becomes your spending limit. If you're thinking, I don't earn enough to save, That's exactly why this matters. The goal was never the amount, it's the identity. Someone saving $10 consistently is building a stronger financial future than someone saving nothing while waiting to earn more first. Bamboo doesn't grow tall overnight. It grows a little every single day, and that patience is what eventually gives it strength. Now consider convenience, a quiet modern threat to ordinary incomes. It rarely looks dangerous. Food delivery, one-click shopping, buy now, pay later. The problem isn't convenience itself, it's unconscious convenience. Many Japanese households maintain a stronger connection between effort and spending, cooking at home, walking instead of driving, repairing rather than replacing immediately. It can look old-fashioned from the outside, but there's real financial wisdom hidden in it. When effort disappears completely, spending becomes invisible, you tap once, the money vanishes silently, and your brain loses the natural friction that normally signals this costs something. The Japanese system deliberately keeps some of that friction, not because friction feels pleasant, but because friction creates awareness, and awareness is what protects your financial health. There's an old Japanese proverb, even dust when piled up becomes a mountain. Most people apply that idea to success. Few apply it to money. A single grain of rice looks meaningless, but millions of grains can feed entire villages. Your financial future works the same way. $1 saved, one unnecessary purchase skipped, one subscription canceled, one meal cooked at home. None of it feels significant alone. Together, it becomes a mountain. Most people ignore small actions because they crave dramatic transformation instead, but Japanese financial philosophy rarely worships the dramatic. It respects steady accumulation. Now, picture walking through a forest at midnight with only a small lantern. You can't see your final destination, only the next few steps. Many people freeze here, waiting for certainty before they'll move at all. But financial progress works exactly like that lantern. Low-income households often feel trapped because they stare at the entire mountain at once: retirement, a home, a full emergency fund, and the distance feels impossible. The Japanese approach is quieter. Focus on the next step, not the whole mountain. Save this week. Track this month. Cut one unnecessary expense. Improve one habit. That's genuinely enough because the path reveals itself gradually, and you only ever need to see the next few feet in front of you. Finally, there's a lesson hidden in a simple Japanese teacup. It's valuable not because it overflows, but because it holds exactly enough. Modern culture constantly insists you need more: a bigger salary, a bigger house, a bigger lifestyle, and the target keeps moving every time you reach it. Many people on ordinary incomes suffer twice, once from real financial limits, and again from comparing themselves to people who simply have more. The Japanese concept of contentment interrupts that cycle, not by rejecting ambition, but by asking one honest question: what is actually enough? Once you answer that for yourself, consumer culture loses a lot of its grip. You stop chasing every trend and start building a life that genuinely belongs to you, because peace was never created by income, it's created by your relationship with money and with enough. This entire philosophy was never really about becoming rich. It was about becoming stable, intentional, and calm, building a life where money serves you instead of quietly controlling you. If you want to start this week, here are 3 small steps straight from everything we just covered. First, ask yourself Kakeibo's simplest question tonight. How much did I actually spend today, and does it match what I meant to spend? Second, automate one small save first amount from your very next paycheck. Even $10 is enough to begin. Third, pick one convenience habit and reintroduce a little friction to it this week. Because the most powerful financial skill was never earning, it's stewardship, keeping what you have, growing it patiently, respecting it the way a farmer respects a single seed. Financial freedom begins with 1 yen, and your future begins with one decision. So tell me, if you could improve just one money habit starting today, tracking expenses, saving first, cooking at home, or avoiding impulse purchases, which one would it be? Write it in the comments because every mountain starts with a single grain of dust and every fortune starts with a single step.